This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. We would like to welcome back once again winemaker Karim Mussi, who is joining us all the way from, where are you today, Karim?
We are in Mendoza province here in Argentina.
Fantastic, fantastic. And we are here to speak about the two new releases at the LCBO of the Alendes Paradoux 7th edition. Now, we spoke about these wines before, back in 2021, but not this new edition. And for those people who may be a little bit confused about your reasoning behind the non-vintage aspect of these wines, perhaps you would care to explain that once again.
Yes, at the beginning was very different from what Argentina is used to deliver at that time. But since Argentina started developing and relaunching our own concepts and images as a country that it doesn't belong to the new world, to the old world, sorry. But we have been doing great wines in the last 150 years under European techniques with European varietals. Argentina has a beautiful diversity and singularities growing on these high mountain deserts from the western part of the country at the foothills of the Andes. So the continental weather, or the continental benefit that we have here, allowed us to play a little bit more with the uniqueness of the sustainable vintages and not having too many vintage variations. So that's why nobody played with vintage variation before. But lately, based on the climate change, we realized that we had to build an insurance for quality, an insurance for style, an insurance for availability to have more regular vintages. So for the red and the whites, we blend different vintages. We always keep wine or juice from the previous harvest to keep those ingredients, especially here that we have 5 different varietals, or here that the whites age in a completely different way. So that's why we developed the non-vintage concept.
So when we're looking at these two 7th editions, which vintages are we looking at approximately that go into these two blends?
Well, the concepts are different because here we blend blindly at least 3 different vintages.
Oh, I see.
So here, for sure, you have 23, 22, and 21 juice that we blended, not knowing the varietal, the barrel lot, and the vintages.
I see.
And we decide blindly what is the best combination or the best assemblage for Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, and Petit Verdot.
So if you're doing it blindly for each edition, that would mean that the cepage is different with regards to percentages of grapes with every edition.
Exactly.
Right.
But we force ourselves to use the 5 big reds from Bordeaux here.
Yes.
Especially because Malbec is the most popular from Argentina, but people have to understand that Malbec came in the 19th century when Monsieur Puget, the founder of the first winemaking school from America, brought all the Bordeaux varietals to improve the quality of the local wines. Later, when the Italians came, they also brought Bonarda, among other crazy varietals, and also the Spanish introduced the Tempranillo. The Spaniards, immigrants, introduced the Tempranillo, the 5th largest more varietal here in Argentina. So that's why we are such a diverse country in terms of winemaking. So here we have we always have the 5 varietals on different percentages, and we trust on our palate, tasting blind, and trying to find the best blend possible. While here, what we do is like a perpetual reserve. It's more likely a champagne, because here we have the full lot of the last vintage. For example, the last vintage that we have, the only vintage winery, the vintage wine that we have at the winery is the 2024 Blanc de Blanc.
Right.
At the beginning of next year, before our next harvest here in the Southern Hemisphere will happen in February, we will blend that lot, that vintage lot, with the previous vintages that it's exactly what we have here. So we renew, like a Solera system, we renew the perpetual reserve. We bottle 80% and we remain 20% on barrels, and leave room for the 2025 juice that is coming. After a year of the 2025 juice in barrels, so February 2026, we will blend the full lot of 25 with the previous vintages.
So theoretically, in each of in the 7th edition, you have a little bit of the 1st edition in there.
Exactly.
Right. Fascinating. And what is the cepage on this? I know it's mainly Semillon with a bit of Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes, it's around two-thirds Old Semillon and 1/3 Sauvignon Blanc.
Superb. And what is the aging process for both the red and the white?
Well, here is 12 months. Average, 18-month average, because we have all other vintages, and here is the perpetual reserve. So it's diluted since 2015. Sorry, when we released the first vintage of this wine. And so the character tastes like a very classic Bordeaux blend.
When you're making these wines, did you have the opportunity to taste many of the great wines of Bordeaux to get an idea of what you were going for there?
Well, sure, but keeping the identity of Argentina, because people have to discover two things here: the style of the house, obviously what we consider the best quality or the best performance for these wines, but also the traditional profile from a region that has a large influence around every wine country or every new world country, like Argentina, because we have developed an incredible quality and identity that is just starting to be shared with the rest of the world. People just know Argentina by Malbec, but it's easier to understand for the Canadian consumers, because we also have a very strong European backgrounds, French or English or German or Lebanese, like in Quebec, but we live in the new world. We live 5 hours behind the European time zone. So we know what it means living in the new world. We understand everything we produce in America as a continent, on the very northern extreme like Canada to the very southern extreme like Argentina. So we are connected by the same formation that put us on the same understanding of what we like and how we live here. We are a melting pot, like in Canada, where not only our wines, also our food, our music. You're a music guy like me, so you understand that even our music is connected from our backgrounds and heritage, adapted to the new world.
Indeed, indeed. Now, these two wines, I have had the opportunity to taste them in this edition. They're immensely complex wines. And I got the feeling that these are wines that they're built for the long haul. These will only improve if one cellars them. But you have made them very accessible early on into their lives, because they're drinking wonderfully right now.
Yes, that's one of the benefits of the high mountain desert, because we have such a beautiful availability of sun that all the phenols ripe properly, but not dropping the total acidity. So growing grapes at almost 4,000 feet or 1,200 meters above sea level, with a huge diurnal temperature change, more than 20 Celsius difference between day and night, we have a very long ripeness period with and very slow. So that's allowed us to, even our young wines, younger wines, to taste very drinkable.
I'm very curious as to how these two wines would age with time. How is the first edition of both of these tasting today?
2012, 2015. And they are still looking beautiful. So we guarantee 10, 15 years without any problem.
Fantastic. How do they develop? How does the white develop aromatically, and how does the red develop?
Very classic. If you taste blindly, people will not recognize any Argentinian character here, because people will link it with the traditional Bordeaux style.
Yes. Yep.
But also the way that we manage the oak, the way that we manage the picking moment, everything it's designed or developed for like you said, the long-term vision of our winery strategy. So we are making the wines that we are going to enjoy in the next 10 to 15 years. I feel very proud about it when Argentina continue growing as a reliable supplier for the market.
Superb. And I know that you have done so many wine dinners with these wines. What do you think the perfect pairings are for both the white and the red of this edition?
Well, another great question, because people think that we eat steak here all day long. Those two wines are very versatile. I think that especially the white, even more versatile than the red. I love to enjoy this one with any Mediterranean food or pasta. And here we are able to even make it more complex with some fatty, long cooking beef or lamb, for example. I love lamb. I think it's a perfect.
Superb. Karim, thank you very much for joining us once again at Good Food Revolution. Hopefully we will see you over in Canada at some point in the not too distant future.
I hope so. I need to go there and enjoy your great food, your great people. And we trust that Argentina and Canada should continue building this beautiful relationship between two great countries that are connected for many, many things along the years. And wine it's a great tool to continue building this relationship.
Superb. I'll look forward to sharing a glass of wine with you when you're here. Take care.
Anytime.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye-bye.